Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swamini Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Umudjnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunadan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Swari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarvyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vachapatitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Isvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. Hare Krishna. By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita, the King of Knowledge, Raja Vidya. So in Bhagavad Gita, we are now studying in the 11th chapter, Vishwarupam, because Arjuna is asking Krishna to show his universal form, Vishwarupa. Only in Bhagavad Gita we can understand about Vishwarupa. We can understand all this knowledge, not anywhere else, only in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is just the knowledge by which we can actually go to Krishna. Idam jnanam upashitya mamasa dharmyam agata. That's it. Very simple. In just 2 lines, Krishna said very clearly that Idam jnanam upashitya mamasa dharmyam agata. See, if we just take shelter into this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, we will get Krishna's nature. We'll go to Krishna. That's it. What else we need to understand? It's very clear and straightforward. Krishna is teaching us. That's what we are also now gaining it. We are understanding. We are understanding this Bhagavad Gita. Just by knowing this Bhagavad Gita, we are going to go to Goloka. So we are all going to go to Goloka just with this knowledge. Because this knowledge is teaching us how to develop attachment to Krishna. So when Krishna is asking us to give up all attachments, that is attachments to material wealth. Whereas he is saying that Maya Sakta Manaha Partha means attached to myself. That's what Maya Sakta Manaha Partha means. So in many places, Krishna is using the word asakta. Asaktam teshu karmasu. Asaktam. Here, Krishna is using the word asaktam. Means attached to me. So that's what in the 7th chapter, 1st sloka, Krishna is teaching us that Maya Sakta Manaha Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashayaga Asamsayam Samagramma Yathanyasya Tachunu. So we should get attached to Krishna. But Krishna is asking us to not get attached to anything in this material world. So only our mind should focus only on Krishna only and develop that attachment on Krishna only. Then we will go to Goloka. There is no doubt about it. That's why Krishna is teaching us that Idam Jnanam Upashitya Mamasa Dharmyam Agata. Because When we take shelter into this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, so that means when we understand this Bhagavad Gita knowledge fully, we will develop attachment to Krishna only. So that will come. Nobody can stop it. Even in this material world, this so-called love, so because which is basically lust. So when they get attached so much, they are ready to give up everything. So then what to speak about getting ourselves attachment to Krishna? When we start loving Krishna, then who can separate us? Who can stop that love? Nobody can stop that love. So that's what is needed. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are developing that love towards Krishna. We are becoming devotees of Krishna. So that's what bhakta. So when we become a bhakta, a devotee of Krishna, that means we develop complete attachment to Krishna. We will love Krishna fully, completely. Our mind is focused only on Krishna, not on anything else in this material world, period. That's not on anything else. That is going to happen automatically with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. When we understand this Bhagavad Gita fully, because we know that at that point of time, with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without any doubt. Mattaka parataram na anyati kinchit asti Dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, conqueror of wealth, there is nothing else is superior to me. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So when we understand that fact, evam buddhe param buddhva. So when we get this knowledge, so we will be able to control our mind by focusing our mind on Krishna only. So samstabhyatmanam atma. So at that point of time, we will not have any attachment to anything else in this material world. So that means jahi satrum mahabaho kamarupam turasa. So we will be able to give up all kinds of materialistic desires, which will actually take us to hell. So Trividam Narakas Sedam Dwaram Nasanam Atmanagam. There are three gateways leading to hell, which are meant to destroy our soul. So Trividam Narakas Sedam Dwaram Nasanam Atmanagam. Kama Krodha Tata Lobas Tasmateta Trayam Tejat. That is Kama Krodha Loba. So we will be freed from all these things when we develop that attachment to Krishna only. At that time, we will not have kama, we will have prema. Prema on Krishna. That is love on Krishna. So at that time, there is no krodha, so that is bhakti. So prema bhakti. So instead of kama krodha, it is prema bhakti. So that's what. So then we will have so much attachment on Krishna only. So then we will not go to hell. We will go to Goloka. That's it. So that way, Krishna is teaching us that if we take shelter into this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, we are going to get Krishna's nature, means we are going to go to Goloka. We are going to achieve the supreme destination. Tato yati param gatim. In many places, Krishna uses this line, that is Tato yati param gatim. So he will reach the supreme destination. So that should be our goal. Our goal is to reach the supreme destination, that is Golokam, Krishna as well. We need to go there. How is that going to be possible? It is automatically going to be possible when we study this Bhagavad Gita. So that way, just by studying this Bhagavad Gita, we are susukam kartam, we are enjoying, we are fully enjoying susukam kartam. So we are able to experience this happiness every day. And because of that, we are naturally addicted to hearing about Krishna. The reason we are coming and joining and studying this Bhagavad Gita every day, because we are now getting addicted to listening about Krishna, hearing about Krishna. So because this is giving us so much enjoyment. So much enjoyment. So we are naturally addicted to it. In this material world, people get addicted to different things, different material things. But here we get addicted to Krishna only. So that way we are able to experience the higher taste. And this higher taste is making us to forget about the lower taste. So that is the material world, material sense objects, material ambitions. Everything is getting rid of. We are getting rid of everything. Everything is going away from us. So we don't have now we will not have any single material desires actually. With this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so our life is full of Krishna consciousness, and every day we are able to spend all the time only in the service of Krishna, remembering Krishna, doing everything for Krishna. So this is all happening automatically. So over a period of time, when we achieve this kind of experience, this happiness, so then this will become a way of our life. Naturally, we will be doing all these things only in our life, nothing else. All other priorities will be gone. There won't be any other priorities. So our goal is only every day, all the time, serve Krishna, remember Krishna, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, prepare prasadam, offer prasadam to Krishna, and do everything only for Krishna all the time, 24/7. So that way, Krishna will make us very, very occupied in his remembrance only, in doing all the activities for him. Even though Krishna is teaching us that Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim nivesega maya sakta mana partha manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaisasi yuktvaivam atmana mat parayanagam ananya chetaga satatam yomam smarati nityasagam ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaga paryupasate tesam nityapi yuktanam yogakshemam mahamyagam. All these things Krishna repeatedly is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita, that always abhyabicharinam, without any deviation. Mamcha yoga vicharena, bhakti yogena sevate. So like that, repeatedly Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita that you do everything for me, everything be connected with me, don't forget me, always remember me. All these things Krishna is teaching us. Just by studying this Bhagavad Gita every day, all these things are automatically happening in our life. We are actually transforming. There is no doubt about it. We are becoming a very, very sincere devotee of Krishna. There is no doubt about it. And we know now everything. We have no confusion about many different gods. We have no confusion about anything else in this material world. All our confusions are completely clear. Doubts are completely clear. So there is no problem. So we are able to fully focus our mind only on Krishna. So this is possible just with this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. That's what is happening in our life. This knowledge is actually is doing all kinds of miracles in our life. This Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we are able to get this knowledge, because Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita that I give the knowledge, I give the understanding by which you can come to me. So that's what Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Enamam Upayanchite. So Krishna is giving us the knowledge. Krishna is giving us everything what we need, using which we are able to go to Krishna. We are able to make use of this life. We are able to enjoy it, first of all. So that way, all our priorities are now only to execute what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. That's nothing else. We don't have any other materialistic desires at all. And Krishna is making sure that we forget, we ditch everything in this material world. Because Krishna provides, Krishna creates so many opportunities for us to remember him. He will not let us forget him at all. So only when we develop that taste, that superior taste, this Bhagavad Gita, this Amritam, this Dharmamritam. So Yetu Dharmamritam. So if we are able to develop that taste on this Bhagavad Gita, then we are completely coming ourselves under the control of Krishna only. So then we are letting ourselves to actually, we are submitting ourselves to Krishna. So our desires to Krishna, our free will unto Krishna. So that way, by Krishna's mercy, we are able to forget about everything in this material world, which is made up of matter, which is always changing. Nothing is permanent in this material world. Everything is changing. So there is no point in ourselves focusing on this temporary, miserable material temporary sense objects, which makes our life miserable. So there is no need, no point in thinking about that. So this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is doing all such changes in our life. So we are successfully studying in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is asking Krishna to show his universal form. Because Arjuna understood in the 10th chapter, in fact, we all understood from the 10th chapter that Krishna's opulence is unlimited. So when Krishna says that is Natadasti Vinayatsyan Mama Maya Bhutam Characham. So there is nothing else in this world which is without me. So Atama Bahunaitena Kimnyatena Tavarjuna Vistabhyaham Idam Krishnam Ekam Sena Sito Jagat. Yatyad Vibhuti Matsatvam Srimadurjitam Evava Tattat Evava Gachatvam Mama Tejomsa Sambhavam. So whatever is going to happen, whatever is going to appear in this world, all the glorious manifestations which are yet to come, also you understand that they are coming from me only. Mama Tejomsa Sambhavam. So that way Krishna is teaching us that with a single fragment of his energy, he can pervade this entire universe. So that way Arjuna understood that Krishna is actually, as in his universal form, he is pervading this entire universe. Now Arjuna wants to see that. So that way in the 11th chapter, we finished eight verses. So Arjuna is asking Krishna in the 4th verse that Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabhu Yogeswara tatho me tvam darshayatmanam abhyam. Oh Prabhu, so oh Yogeshwara. So if you think that I can see your universal form, you please show that. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabhu Yogeshwara tatho me tvam darshayatmanam abhyam. Then Lord Sri Krishna immediately tells Arjuna that, okay, I will show you. I am showing you my universal form. Satosta sagasra saga nana vidani divyani nana varna krutini. So now pasyame yogam aishwaram. So now you see my aishwaram, yogam aishwaram. So there Krishna is actually telling Arjuna that Ihaikastam jagat krishnam pasyadya sacharacharam mama dehe guda kesha yachanyad drashtum ichasi. So now everything you see in a single place. Ekastam, Ihaikastam jagat krishnam pasyadya sacharacharam. So both moving and non-moving, everything in my dehe, mama dehe guda kesha. So in my deha, you just see. Yachanyad drashtum ichasi. Whatever you want to see, whatever you wish to see, you see that. So that's what Krishna is telling. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. Ekastam, everything in one place. But the problem is you cannot see with your present eyes. Natumam sakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusam. So with your own eyes, you cannot see. Natumam sakyase drashtum. So let me give you divine eyes. Divyam dadami te chakshugu. So let me give you divine eyes. Pashyame yogam aiswaram. You can see my mystic, means inconceivable mystic power. Yogam aishwaram. So that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna that. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. So therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. So now, Krishna is actually showing his universal form to Arjuna, and Krishna already has given the divine eyes. Here, Sanjaya now is saying that what Arjuna is seeing that. You need to understand, this question very often comes that did Sanjaya also see the universal form, whatever Krishna showed to Arjuna? No, that is not possible. Because when Krishna tells Arjuna that I am giving you the divine eyes by which you can see me, so that means no one else who were in the battlefield also could see Krishna's universal form the way Arjuna could see. But Arjuna is explaining how Krishna's universal form looks like to Krishna himself. So when Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna, then Arjuna is actually telling Krishna that what all he is seeing in the universal form. So based on that, Sanjaya is narrating here. So in the next few slokas, what Sanjaya is saying, it's all based on what he heard from Arjuna. It is not that what he saw in the universal form, but he was able to hear what Arjuna is speaking to Krishna. So that's what here Sanjaya is saying, that Sanjaya Vacham Eva Muktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayamasa Partaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram. So Sanjaya said, O king, so Rajan, Eva Muktva, so having said, so having spoken thus. So when Krishna told Arjuna that I will show you, I will give you divine eyes, you can see. So this Mahayogeshwaro Hari. So who is the Mahayogeshwara? He is the master of all mystics, Mahayogeshwara, the most powerful mystic. So Hari, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, Hari. Mahayogeshwara Hari. Darshayamasa Partaya, he has shown his universal form, Paramam Rupam Aishwaram, his supreme universal form, the divine universal form, he has shown to Partha. So Krishna has shown his universal form. So that's what Sanjaya is saying, that Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of God, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. So that's what we are studying. So what he is showing here in the next two slokas, Sanjaya is explaining. So again, as I just mentioned, it is based on what Arjuna tells Krishna only. So what Sanjaya is saying here, that Aneka Vatranayanam Anekadbhuta Darshanam Aneka Divyabaranam Divyanekto Dyadayutam Divyamalyambarataram Divyagandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So, Aneka Vatra Nayanam. Aneka means many, many, many. Many. Aneka Vatra, mouths. Nayana means eyes. So, many mouths, eyes. Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. Many wonderful forms. Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. Many wonderful sights. Aneka Divya Baranam. So many divine ornaments. So that's what Aneka Divya Baranam. Divya Nekto Tyadayutam. Divya that is many different weapons, divine weapons. That's what Divya Aneka Udyatayutam. So many weapons. So then Divya Malyam Bharataram. So many divine garlands. So Divya Malyam Bharataram. And dresses, Ambarataram. So he was wearing wonderful divine dresses and garments, garlands. So that's what Divya Malyam Bharataram, Divya Gandhanu Lepanam. So he was made with very divine fragrances, divine perfumes. So that's what Divya Gandhanu Lepanam, Sarvascharyamayam Devam. So everywhere he was so wonderful, so ascharyamayam. So he was wonderful. Sarvascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So with unlimited faces. So all pervading. Anantam Vishwato Mukham. So he was the wonderful universal form. Anantam Visvato Mukam. That's what Sanjaya said. That Anekavatra Nayanam, Anekadbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divyabaranam, Divyanekto Dadayutham, Divyamalyambarataram, Divyagandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharyamaya Devam Anantam Visvato Mukham. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. That's what Sanjay was explaining how universal form looks like. But this doesn't stop here. We are going to study that Krishna's universal form is so difficult for Arjuna to see. It was not, even though in Sanjaya's terms, what he was explaining, that it was so wonderful, it was so nice to see, but Arjuna at the end tells Krishna that I can't see this. Vayena cha pravyathitam manome adhishtapurvam drishtva. So since I'm seeing the one which I have never seen, so even though I'm happy that I'm seeing the one which I have never seen, but I'm Vayena cha pravyathitam manome, but due to fear, my mind is perturbed. I cannot see this. I cannot stand any longer seeing this. That's what Arjuna tells, because Krishna's universal form with actually with terrible teeth, damstra karalani nijate mukani, dristvaiva kalanala sannibani, disona jane nalavecha sharma prasida devesa jahannivasa. That's what Arjuna tells Krishna, that with terrible teeth, with scorching eyes. So all such things, it's very difficult to look at it. So, but here in Sanjaya's terms, this is what we are understanding about Krishna's universal form. So in the next sloka number 12, Sanjaya is continuing that Divisurya Sagasrasya Bhave Yugabadutita Yadi Bhag Sadirshi Sasyad Bhashastasya Mahatmanaga. Divisurya Sagasrasya. Sagasrasya means thousands of, as if thousands of suns, divine suns, thousands of suns appeared in the sky. Divi, Bhavet, Yugavat Uthita. Uthita means it's appeared. So it's appeared in the sky. Yadibhag Sadirshi Sasyad. So like that, Krishna's universal form, the rays, the basas, the effulgence, Tasya Mahatmanakam. So the Mahatmas, the Krishnas, that universal form was like as if thousands of suns appeared in the sky at the same time. So that's what Divisurya Sagasrasya Bhave Yugapatuthitam Yadi Bhag Sadirshi Sasyat Basastasya Mahatmanaka. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. So that's what we are studying. So we successfully finished 12 slokas in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that is the Viswarupa, the universal form. Now let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantram and focus our mind on the transcendental sound vibration. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Niti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Timir Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees. I kindly request the devotees to use the Zoom raise hand feature to ask your questions to Guruji. So Ravindra Goel Prabhu has a question regarding the verse 11.11.
Yes, Prabhu.
He asks, Hare Krishna Guruji, how the Lord uses his different weapons in this material world, as he is otherwise not doing anything.
So, different weapons in this material world. So, what is your question, bro? He is not doing anything. Can you repeat your question again, bro?
Let me unmute Ravindra Goel Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, actually, what we have learned in 11 verse, that the Lord is having lot many weapons, different, innumerous number of weapons. They are in raised position.
Mhm.
If he is supposed to use these weapons, then he has to definitely be in this material world. But he is not here actually. Here, maybe he may be using it through his potential, through his materialistic energy, that is Maya.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, everything is coming from Krishna only, correct? So even when Krishna was there in that 5,000 years ago, he's the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, but he was a king also, correct? He was fighting. He engaged in different battles also, correct? At that time, he used many different weapons. So like that, here it is Sanjay is saying that in his universal form, he is seeing all kinds of these weapons also. Is Aneka Udyata Ayutam. So like that, it is said. So that way, as far as Krishna is concerned, there is nothing like material or spiritual, correct? Everything is coming from him only. So only for us here in this material world, we are only identifying ourselves with this material body. So without understanding, without realizing that we are spiritual, so that is where we are having the problem. But Krishna is the source of both. Etat yonini bhutani sarvaniti upadaraya aham krishnasya jagataga prabhavaga pralayastada. So Krishna is the source of both the apara prakriti and the para prakriti. So that's what Krishna is teaching. So that way he is showing in his universal form everything. So that way himself having the weapons. So he already, as I just mentioned, as Krishna, when he was a king here, he was ruling Dwarakam. So he was already fighting with many weapons. Correct, Prabhu?
Yeah, so Guruji, what I was just trying to correlate, since all the energies are of Krishna, one is his internal potency, which is always with him, and the other is external potency, that is the Maya, which is governing the material world, and living entities are also said to be his Tatastha Shakti, that is the marginal energy. So, although in this battle, Mahabharata, there are so many warriors. All these warriors, they are basically his Tatastha Shakti only. So they are basically killing each other. So that is only a plan, bigger game plan of Krishna, you can say, wherein each and everyone who is involved in this war, he is trying to eliminate the evil from the society, just to establish the.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. So that way Krishna is having, when he comes to this material, well, that's what others think, like that he is a human being, right? Avajanante mamuda manushim tanumashritaka parambhavam ajananto mama bhuta mayeswaram. Even when Krishna was here, others who didn't understand that he is the Supreme Personality of God, they simply thought that he is a human being, correct? So they don't accept, they didn't understand that Krishna's supremacy. Yes, Prabhu.
So that way, although in the physical form, when he is here in the bodily form in this world, material world, he is apparently not doing anything. Still, everything is being done as per his direction.
Exactly. Yes, bro. Everything is done.
Yeah. So this is a very clear understanding, Guruji, right now. Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much for this clarification.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Ashireka Mataji has raised her hand.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Guruji, in today's explanation, there is a little bit of confusion in my mind, and therefore I thought I should ask you this question.
Yes,
From whatever we've read, whatever I've heard about as a child, from childhood, whatever I've read about Mahabharata and whatever I've heard about Mahabharata, in that, what we have always understood is that Veda Vyasa gave Divya Drishti to Sanjaya. This is what I have. I know what you have said, but I would also like to tell you what I have heard. So when Veda Vyasa gave Divya Drishti to Sanjaya, because of which he was able to witness the entire battle, the entire war of Mahabharata, and including the Bhagavad Gita. So what I was given to understand, and what different people, different gurus from whom I have heard, have always said that Sanjaya was also able to see his Vishwarupa. So therefore, I'm a little confused by your explanation, and hence this question.
Yes, Mataji. Because Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter, first thing is that he was giving divine eyes to Arjuna. I shall give you divine eyes by which you can see me. Correct? Divyam dadami te chakshu. And even at the end also, Krishna very clearly in the 11th chapter, when we finish towards the end, Krishna says that without you, other than you, no one else has seen this form. That's what he says. So that also Krishna says. So that way, this universal form, what Arjuna saw, no one else has seen that. Krishna himself says in the end also. So that's what we need to understand. Sanjaya was narrating what he was hearing from Arjuna. Of course, he was seeing in the battlefield also, but like anybody else can see that. Like others also who were there present in the battlefield, they can also see, correct? So same thing, Sanjaya was also seeing it, but he was also hearing it. So what Sanjaya says in the end of this Bhagavad Gita, that Vyasa Prasada Shrutavan Etat Guhyam Aham Param Yogam Yogeswarat Krishnat Sakshat Kadayataka Swayam. So by the mercy of Vyasa, I could hear. Shrutavan means I could hear. So that's what Sanjaya was able to hear actually, what was happening in the battlefield. And of course, he got that ability for that Dura Darshan, he was able to see, but not seeing the universal form of Krishna. That was, Krishna also says at the end, we will study in the 11th chapter, that no one else has seen this form other than you. So that's what Krishna is saying. You understand that, Mataji? That's what.
Yes, thank you so much for clarifying, Guruji, because this is what we had read, this is what we had heard. So now the difference is very clear from what you have said. He could see what was happening in the battlefield, but the Vishwarupa Darshana was limited to Arjuna.
That is correct. We are understanding all the Vishwarupa about that. Arjuna was explaining to Krishna. That's what we are going to study from the next week in the coming slokas. Arjuna Vacha. So Arjuna was explaining that Sanjaya could hear. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for clarifying this, Guruji. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for a wonderful class. Extremely indebted to you for this. Thank you so much, Guruji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. So that way, when we say that Vedavyas gave Divya Drishti to Sanjaya, so it means that Sanjaya could see all the things and all the material forms of the people who are present in the battlefield. But in order to see Krishna's form, which is spiritual, only if Krishna wants, then only Sanjaya will be able to see it.
Only the Divya Sakshu, divine eyes are needed to see Krishna's universal form. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
That is correct. Yes, bro. Hare Krishna.
Palanyappan Prabhu has raised his hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare.
Today's class is really very much interesting in the sense of that we have learned about the universal form very special form of Krishna by
Yes,
this,
Prabhu.
in the slokas 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yes, Prabhu.
What's more surprising is nowadays in TV we are seeing during Christmas, during Diwali,
Yeah.
that crackers are making so much wonders by people, showing that the whole screen is shown about the crackers only.
Yeah.
Similar thing we are, the same similar thing is coming in front of our eyes. When you say that thousands of eyes, thousands
Yes.
of heads, thousands of
Yes.
so many things we could see in front of us as a universal form. Some
Yes.
places, 1 or 2 places I visited, they also made a similar thing which you said, universal form. They made physically, showing so many heads and this thing. And these are all real wonders, which
Yes, Prabhu.
very difficult. Divine eyes is required, he says. But how to even single thing, people are able to make crackers that we could not see properly. And how
Yes.
to realize these things? That means this shows that God means it is total.
That's
There is
correct.
nothing more. It is very clear from this universal form that nothing else than that in the universe. We have to
Yes, Prabhu.
believe that, and without any doubt, we have to believe and go ahead. I think for that purpose, he has made that universal form so that people can really realize that nothing more than that. We have to just
Yes.
surrender to it and live the proper way. That is
Yes.
a thing it brings out, I feel. And really, in the human sense, it is really wonder, real wonder. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you for the very great explanation you have given for the universal form, and we are all just realizing that. Thank you,
That's
Guruji.
correct. Yes, we are much more to understand about the universal form in the coming verses. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Ravin Prabhu has raised his hand.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Ravindra Goyal Prabhu has asked a very good question that about the Ayudham that he could see in the Vishwarupa. So, Prabhuji, my understanding is that whatever is happening in this physical world, Arjuna could see that not just the present, but the future of the physical world also in the Vishwarupa. Is that correct?
Yes, Arjuna could see everything in the Vishwarupa because that's what he is asking. So in the entire 10th chapter, the Vibhuti Yoga, whatever Krishna is saying, so basically based on that only Arjuna is asking Krishna to show the Vishwarupa. So there Arjuna could see, and even as you are asked, even Krishna also says, Yachanyade drashtum ichchasi. So whatever you see, whatever you want to see, you see here. That's what Krishna is saying. So we are going to, that's what Pasyadya Sacharacharan. So everybody, you will see Aswinis and Marutas and Adityas and Rudras and all, everybody you will see in the universal form. So as you said, everything, past, present, future, whatever you want to see, you can see in the universal form. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna, that Yachanyade drashtum ichchasi. So whatever you decide to see, you see in the universal form. So whatever he can imagine, he can see it. That's the main thing.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, in that context and in context with Ravindra Goyal Prabhu's question, those ayudhams, so even nuclear weapons were also there because nuclear weapons are here currently.
Everything we will see. We are going to study in the coming slokas all those things. How Krishna is devouring everything. How everything is annihilated. Because at the end, only after seeing this, only when Sanjay asks, Arjuna asks Krishna, "Who are you?" Akyagi me ko bhavan ugra rupo deva varaprasid. I want to see what your mission is. That bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravritim. So all those things when he asks, so at that time Krishna explains that I am the time. So that way. You understand that, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, so in continuation with that, Prabhuji, so those ayudhams and everything that was seen over there in Shri Krishna's Vishwarupa is not for use of Krishna, because Krishna has nothing to do in this whole world, in three worlds. That's what Krishna is saying in another shloka. So those ayudhas or weapons are for others' use, basically. So he will give it to others because everything is coming from him, right? So Arjuna could see whatever was there inside Vishwarupa, which means whatever is here in this world.
Yes, Prabhu.
Does that make sense?
No, that I think we are trying to go very much deep into that. So Krishna is also the destroyer. Time is the I'm the Aham Kalosmi Lokakshayat Krit Pravruto. So as the time destroys everything, Krishna is using all kinds of weapons to destroy also. So that way we cannot separate anything which is not a part of Krishna, something like that. Everything we need to understand that he is pervading this entire universe. He is inside everything, outside everything, near everything, closer to, farther away. So we cannot say, we cannot limit in any way, Prabhu. So that's what is the main.
Oh, so are you saying, Guruji, that Krishna uses the weapons to annihilate the universe?
No, not only annihilate the universe, but Krishna was using the weapons as a king in the battle, correct? Not only in the Mahabharata battle, he did not fight, but before that, so many battles Krishna fought, correct? So at that time, he used many weapons.
So, Prabhuji, then in one sloka, Krishna is saying that I have nothing to do in all the three lokas, isn't it?
Krishna has nothing to do, but he was doing so many things because nothing is forcing him to do. So, Name Patasti Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana, there is no work for me to do in all these three worlds. But still he came here, he was a king, he was ruling, he was doing all those things, correct? He was ruling Dwaraka, correct?
Yes, so he was giving he was creating what is that called, for people to follow.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. He was acting as if like everybody is doing it, correct? He had children, he had family, all such things, correct? So that doesn't mean that Krishna is not the Supreme Lord. That's what we need to understand, that Krishna came here, and Krishna, even though nothing is forcing him to take birth here, so Krishna has come here with his internal potency and is giving the knowledge, he is giving he's establishing the dharma, everything is doing it. In our case, we are all forced to do because we are controlled by the modes of nature. In Krishna's case, modes of nature are controlled by him, but he is coming here for our sake, to save us from this material wealth. So that's why Krishna is doing all these things.
Yes, Prabhuji, wonderfully explained, Guruji. Thank you for the explanation. So I got it, Guruji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare Ram Ram. Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna. So when Krishna said that he has nothing to do, so it means that he doesn't have to gain anything from what he is doing, because he already has everything.
Nothing is forcing him to do. He can do or he need not do. When he is doing it, there is nothing forcing him to do. When we are doing it, we are forced to do. That is the problem. We are
Okay,
forced
Guruji.
by the three modes of material nature. So that way, whatever Krishna does, it doesn't bind him. So, name karma palesh prigagam. So, namam karmani limpanti. So, my activities won't bind me, and I am not after the results of the activities. All such things Krishna is doing. But Krishna is still acting. So, he is acting. So, for our sake, he is doing it. So, he asks us also to be like him. So, just to do for the sake of doing. That's what is very important.
Okay, Guruji. So, in our case, we do some work because we want some result out of it, and because of which we are made into bondage by the work.
Yes,
We are forced to do. Yeah, but in Krishna's case, he doesn't want anything from anyone. So that way, he is not forced to do any work. So that's why it is said that Krishna is not doing anything. Like, although he is doing so many things, he is not doing anything.
Yes, he is asking us also to realize, understand it. We are also not doing anything. In our case, we are forced to do by the modes of nature. Once we realize that we are not a doer, then we will also be free like Krishna. Then there is no work for us to do. Then we are free like Krishna. So
Okay,
when we
Guruji.
are able to find happiness within ourselves, then there is no duty for us to do also. Since we are trying to find happiness with the external material sense objects, then only we are forced to do. We are forced to act. If we are able to find happiness within ourselves, then there is nothing is forcing us to do.
Yes, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yastu atmaratireva syat atmatruptascha manavaga atmanyeva cha santustaga tasya karyam na vidyate. So then there is no duty for us to do also, if we are able to find happiness within ourselves. Yes,
Guruji. Manoranjan Sahu Prabhu has raised his hand.
yes,
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Very wonderful session. The 11th chapter, as we are discussing today, that it requires not with the physical eye, the divine light, as you are daily you are getting, we are in a different world. So the divine eye, Divya Chakshu, Divya Aloko, that everything is only that today's sloka is so important for us also. And not only this kind of light what you are giving us, Ajnanatimirandasya, you are also giving us this kind of light, the divine light, the transcendent vision. It is not ordinary vision. It can be possible through only when you surrender to Lord Krishna. So this is the graphic presentations, and really it is a transcendental vision. It is beyond this. It can be realized only through the meditation when you observe in Gita and what Guru and you are you take us in a different world, then that is realized this kind of vision. We are not away from this all the trigunas and taking us into a different level. We become in samadhi state. When you are reading Gita, we forget every our body organ. When you are totally absorbed in one form, our body, mind, and intellect, everything is in one. So you can be realized this kind of vision and right kind of vision, the perfect bliss you will achieve, and we can behold all this divinity in divine form. So that we can get this kind of mystic knowledge. You are daily giving us this kind of divine mystic knowledge you are giving, and we can realize that can be realized through this Gita. So I'm very happy to with this, and now I have other class. So really I'm very fortunate to enjoy, because this class is very important and I will try my best. You should not miss whatever the classes may be. This is Brahma Jnana, the final knowledge we are getting. Other class, something supplement to this, but the final class is the important class, and I have 3 to 4 webinars this time. But first, concentrate. Gita is everything. When you concentrate that kind of knowledge, we can concentrate other things also. So I am very fortunate to be with the associate with Gita class. Really, I am very indebted to you. I offer my obeisance to unto your lotus feet, Guruji. Pranam, Guruji. Satata Naman, Naman, Naman.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Vishnu Vardhan Rao Prabhu has raised his hand.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama, Hare.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare. Hare Rama, Hare
Rama.
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think Chitrita Mataji might have raised her hand before.
Yes.
Let's see if she's here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
It just came to me because as when Shashirikha Mataji also asked a question about whether we can see or not, whether Sanjay saw, I just had this kind of, a thing which I'd love to narrate, which is that I once mentioned about an aunt of mine whose daughter, being exceedingly dark, was not getting married. And then strangely enough, when I think she was about 30, 32 or maybe older, there was an ISKCON devotee, and this he was an American who came and married her. Now in the same family, it's they had the firstborn, the boy, he was about 14 or 13 or whatever. And when he passed away, the boy passed away. And apparently when he passed away, he had told his mother, that is my aunt, that why can't you see that Krishna has come to take me? He said, can't you see Krishna is here? And like mother said that obviously they could not. So I guess, that boy could see that, no, you cannot see Krishna has come to take me, which is something which is really gives you goosebumps. But then point is that the mother, when she related, she said, no, obviously we could not see. But the fact that Sanjay could not see is, I think, quite, it's quite obvious. I mean, isn't that apparent? It's also possible. Is it?
Yes. Very nice explanation. Yes, Mataji, you are right. Yeah.
That is what I thought of sharing. So that is all.
Yeah, that's correct.
And,
because only Krishna's words we are able to answer these questions, understand that we are going to study now only in like today we studied that, last week we studied that Krishna told that I'm giving you divine eyes. At the end of this chapter, he says very clearly that no one else other than you have seen this form. That's what he says.
So that is what I thought of sharing, but maybe. And another thing is, Guruji, I want to ask that you just said if you find peace within yourself, your duty also kind of gets limited. So by that duty, what exactly do you mean, Guruji? What kind of duty are we talking about here?
No, if we are able to find happiness within ourselves, then we are not forced to act. So that means we are free. We are free means we are not answeram naivatasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana nachasya sarvabhutesu kaschitatta vyapashaya. So then there is no reason for us to act. There is no naivatasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana. At any point of time, we are not forced to act. There is no reason. And also, nachasya sarvabhutesu kaschitatta vyapashaya. We are also not answerable to anyone for anything. In this way, when we are like attached to the results, sense objects, then we are answerable to many people. We have to work, we have to do a lot of things, and we are answerable to many people. So, but that is not going to be there when we are able to fully surrender unto Krishna. We listen only to Krishna. So at that time, there is no duty for us to do. Means there is no work. There is nothing is binding us to do work. So there is no karma bandha. So that karma bandha is not there. So that means we are free to do whatever we want. So like Krishna is free to do whatever he wants. So like that, we will also become free to do whatever we want. So at that time, we are not eligible to live in this material world. So we have to go to Goloka. So that's why, because when we are not attached to anything in this material world, we are not going to remember anything at the time of death about anything in this material world. We are going to remember only Krishna. So then we'll go to Goloka. So you understand it, Mother?
Yes, Guruji, I do understand. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, the devotees asked a lot of wonderful questions, and thank you, Guruji, for the answers. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Brinda Jai Singh Mataji. Hare Krishna. SK Garg Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Oh, sorry, there is some.
No problem. No problem. Yes, Prabhu. SK Garg Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much. I am I am listening and really enjoying this divine knowledge through you.
Yes.
There is no question from my side, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Guruji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Brinda Jai Singh Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Mataji. I think you got muted again. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. I am able to hear you now, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Guruji. So it's a very nice class to know that Krishna in his universal form is very selective to whom he gives his this chakshu.
Yes.
And yes, and very selective. It's his mercy. Basically, from this I learned that what he wants to do, he can do.
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
And
That is
yes, and even the material energy he's controlling, and even our but the whole thing is with us is our free will, which we are misusing.
That is correct, Mataji. That is the problem. That is the problem is if because of our misuse of free will, we are struggling and suffering in this material world.
Yes, Guruji. So, Guruji, one question is that he's coming to save the world, but at the same time, we are, because of our misuse of free will, we have to go through all the consequences of our actions.
That is correct.
Where he does not help in any way. He does not
No,
interfere.
No, he's helping us. We are not listening. That's the problem. The problem is that because of our ahankara, false ego, we don't want to listen to him. Krishna is helping us. Krishna is giving us this knowledge. This knowledge is available for everyone. If you listen to Krishna, then we are saved from this material ocean of material miseries. So, apichetasi papebhyaga sarvebhyaga papakrittamaga sarvam jnana plaveneva vrijinam santarishyasi. Even if one considers himself to be the most sinful person, if he gets into the boat of knowledge, he can cross beyond the ocean of material miseries. But if you are not ready to get into the boat of knowledge, then Krishna is helpless. So the problem is with us. We just have to understand, realize, and take Krishna's help because he is giving his help. So if you don't listen to him, then nasrosasi vinankshashi. That's what Krishna is saying that. If you don't hear to me, atachetvam ahankara nasrosasi vinankshashi. So machittaga sarvadurgani matprasadat tarishyasi. Atachetvam ahankarat nasrosasi vinankshashi. If you think about me all the time, then by my mercy, you will be freed from all the miseries, all the obstacles, simply much. But due to ahankara, if you don't listen to me, then you are lost. So that is because of ahankara, we are not listening to Krishna. That's the problem.
Yes, Guruji, I understand. But the thing is that we have understood this now, though we knew Krishna from long, but now that knowledge is awakening with your help and reading and things. So there are all this while whatever actions we have done, we will have to go through the consequences, provided now also we take his help and mercy.
No, we don't have to go through the consequences. Once we surrender unto Krishna, then Krishna takes care of all other things. We don't have to worry about it. Once we completely surrender unto Krishna, that's why that Tvam Sarva Papebhya Moksha Ishyami. So Sarva Dharman Pratyajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja. You completely surrender unto me, then I shall deliver you from all selfful reactions. Do not fear. So we don't have to worry about the consequences of our past acts. We don't have to worry. We have to simply surrender unto Krishna, then Krishna takes care of that.
Yes, Guruji, that's very reassuring.
Yes,
Very reassuring.
that's the thing. Yes, Mother. Yes. Once we are in the right place. Yes,
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 Guruji. Yes. And another thing that you said, to be with yourself and remember Krishna. So that is one of the, crux that we need to really focus on, because when we are here in this classroom and when we are thinking of Krishna, we are okay. But when we are again into our daily routine here, there, we keep forgetting that. So I think that's the abhyasa which is required.
Yes, Mother. That's why we should engage in Krishna's service all the time, then we will not forget.
Yes, Guruji. Thank you for leading us by the hand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Shankar Prabhu, TML Shankar Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Ram Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Guruji, Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much, Guruji. You are very sound and clear, Guruji. What you said yesterday, I gave a thought through. You said yesterday's class was conducted by Krishna, which was very true, Guruji. That's why the voice was very feeble, distorted. Probably Krishna was conducting from Goloka. That's why we couldn't hear very clearly, Guruji.
I was literally sleeping, yes, from.
Yeah, that's why Krishna was conducting, Guruji. That's why everything come from Lord Krishna. That's why it was so long, right? So the signal was very weak, Goloka to our place. So it was very interesting, Guruji. And today, excellent, Guruji, the question and answer and the way you elucidated it. In computer world, Guruji, we call something called proxy. If I want to see internet, right? If you go to your laptop, you always have a proxy setting. Okay, we can connect through all the sites in the world, but it is all through proxy, Guruji. That's much easier. I don't go to connect with Amazon.com or even Google and all, right? There is a proxy which takes care of it, correct? As long as I have a proxy address keyed in my laptop, which connects to everybody. The same way, Guruji, I'm not sure whether I'm going to get the divine eyes, all these things to see Krishna. But you serve as a proxy, Guruji. As long as we have a guru like you, and I don't even have to worry, Guruji, whether Krishna is there or not and all. We are able to feel him. The moment we feel, then that is sufficient, Guruji. When the time comes, I can see him, right? So I'm feeling him, and the feel is always there, Guruji. So that way, I'm very comfortable, Guruji. He is with us. He is, those days, even many movie themes are like that. The hero loves the heroine without seeing her. All through phone, all through letters, many themes are written out of it. It's all based on this, Guruji. I think it's all stolen from this theme. Basically, we don't have to see Krishna. As long as you feel him through you and you serve as a proxy, deal done, Guruji. And I don't even have to think about anything. All I have to do is do service to Krishna. That's all, Guruji. That's all taken care, Guruji. Yeah, having said today, I couldn't make Krishna Prasad, Guruji. Yesterday I cooked it. And Shashi Mataji also, Shashi Rekha Mataji also sent few videos I'm supposed to watch. Unfortunately, my friend runs a restaurant, Guruji. So morning I got some idlis from him. Afternoon also he packed some curd rice. So I offered some fruits to Lord Krishna, like Sasireka Mataji. I'm offering dry fruits, Guruji. That's something I keep missing. Probably I bought all vegetables, mangoes, pumpkins, all there. But I'm quite busy, Guruji. I'm unable to cook. So that is something I have to improve, Guruji. Let me hope, because that I can feel the tremendous change, Guruji. The moment I cook for Krishna and eat, nothing happens. Any kind of food, even a prasad from temple also, if I eat it, it causes little disturbance, Guruji. So I have to cook myself, Guruji. That you always reinstate, you always reinforce, saying that the rasa, the food should have a rasa, that the taste. A very simple, even a pumpkin soup or even what do you call that, green bean soup, a simple thing, a rasa, I can feel that, Guruji. That makes me very energetic, Guruji. So that's something I'm knowingly I'm making this mistake, Guruji. Hopefully Lord Krishna will correct me soon. But I'm very happy, Guruji. I'm with you. So I can't deviate from this righteous path. That's something you are helping us, Guruji. And hopefully, like Hireka Mataji and the Bangalore team should also echo after your class afternoon, they should have some other classes or some WhatsApp chats and all to reinforce your teachings again and again, so that we don't deviate it at all. Every 1 hour some WhatsApp message should pop up saying that what you taught in today's class, right? That is another way. Thank God we have a technology to connect us together, so that we keep remember, we read your lessons again and again till your next class starts, Guruji. And the Tamil class, you mentioned many who am I, correct, Guruji? The examples, like today you mentioned the boat, correct? In Tamil, you mentioned Odam that day, 2-3 days ago. There are many classic examples, Guruji. Too bad I couldn't make notes out of it. You started keep on saying Odam, that like boat, and many whatever in the world, that is all serves as an example, Guruji. So I think it's my habit, due to my laziness. I am happy to miss the boat, Guruji. Sometimes you go to train station, you feel like missing the trains. Sit down and enjoy, Guruji. Let us take a next train. Let us take a next train. Something like that, Guruji. Because sometimes I started missing the boat. But today you clearly mentioned, Guruji, clearly explained. Krishna is there, the boat is there, but I keep missing it for my lethargic or just for the sake of enjoying. Or so that I should not do that, Guruji. So since the knowledge is there, I should get into the boat and I should sincerely travel and practice, Guruji. Thank you very much, Guruji. I'm very much indebted to you, Guruji. Thank you very much, Guruji. As usual, Guruji, I'll be serving as a dust in your feet. Let's see, Guruji, let us proliferate this Krishna conscious to all the needy people. Thank you very much, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Mahendra Shukla Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna Guruji. आपका आशीर्वाद बना रहे. धन्यवाद.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sunil Srivas Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Guruji, 2 to 3 days I attend my class, but I can't say anything, Guruji, because I was on seminar, Guruji. So
no problem.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Guruji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gayatri Shivakumar Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji, Prabhu Ji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare
very
Krishna,
wonderful class, very wonderful class.
Yes.
While you are telling the lecture, they able to visualize the what Arjuna felt, able to visualize the universal God. Very nice, wonderful explanation. I have one doubt, Guruji. Sanjay was given a divine eyes by Vyasa, but it's a divine. Still, he was not able to. It itself is a divine eyes. Why can't he able to see the
special power to hear what was happening in the battlefield? Vyasa Prasada Shrutavan, and able to see like anyone else, but he was this eyes to see Krishna was given by Krishna to Arjuna. So that divine eyes, so there is different method.
Oh.
Because Krishna clearly says at the end of the 11th chapter that no one else other than you have seen this. If Sanjay also saw that, Krishna would have told that only you and Sanjay have seen this. But Krishna is saying that Tvadanyena means other than you, no one else has seen that. That's what Krishna says.
Okay. I thought it's also the same as that of that divine eyes. Okay.
We are understanding the entire universal form based on Arjuna's description. Arjuna is explaining to Krishna what he's seeing. That's how Sanjaya could hear that. So that's why we are able to see.
Oh, he's just able to hear what he's telling. Okay.
Yes, he was able to hear. Yes, Mother.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kajiravat Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Papa, Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Guruji, today's class is wonderful class. And
nice.
Papa says Hare Krishna Mahamantram, Guruji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mritula, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mritula.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay.
Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare
English, Pastor. English. உங்களுக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் கத்துக்கணும்
Evening Tamil, அப்ப நம்ம
ஈவினிங்
தமிழ்ல
தமிழ்ல
பேசலாம்.
பேசலாம்.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. No
Very
doubts,
nice.
Guruji. Very interesting class and very excellent explanation, Guruji. Very well.
Yes,
Good.
sir. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It was very nice hearing from Mritula. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mritula. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I spoke with all the devotees, and we will again continue to study Bhagavad Gita from Tuesday onwards. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama.